Hey everybody, Wendy Clinky with Blue Cat Studio. This evening or today we are going to paint a super simple watermelon. Now, I primed this in advance, but it's really just a simple MDF cutout with a cute little bite, and you could turn this into an orange or a cookie or a lime or whatever, but we're going to make it a watermelon. And I don't know if you can see these funny spots here, but when I was priming it last night, one of my cats decided to walk across it and left me some cute little paw prints. So he's been trying to get his he's been trying to get the paint off his paws all day. Serves him right for getting it, messing with mom's stuff, right? So what I've done is I've started with some white, and I've created just a basic kind of ring right here as a transition between the red section and the green section. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to do some blending. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of wipe some of that excess off. And then we'll grab a cinnamon drop red color. And we'll squeeze that in here. And that's kind of almost like a pinky red. Especially with that little bit of white, we'll get a little extra pink here. So if you're just joining, go ahead and say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Always fun to see who's out there. I don't know if any of you are overheating, but oh my gosh, it's felt pretty warm recently, huh? All right, and so we're just kind of creating a quick, simple line here with the red. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's blending a little bit with the white. I'm gonna kind of work it in a little. Because whenever you have watermelon, right, you've kind of got like that, the green blends to white. And so I'm trying to get that effect in here now while the white is still wet. So I'm going to come a little bit further. There we are. Okay. And I can just quickly kind of fill that in. Lickety split. And we'll do more details. But we want it to be the deepest, richest red, like right here in the middle. And then it's along these edges where it starts to get lighter. So just kind of, I'm going to need more paint here. And I'm hoping this will be like a really fast, quick, easy project. That's kind of the goal, right? To make it fun, simple, show you how really quite doable art can be. Especially fun summer art like this. So again, just filling it in with that cinnamon drop. Things are drying a little faster than normal because it is not cold. It's quite hot. My AC may be running at 73 degrees Fahrenheit, but boy, oh boy, it does not feel like 73 in here. All right, whoopsies. And then one little touch up here because I've got some spots that didn't get full coverage. Now you could get like super picky about this if you wanted to. I'm going to just kind of do it quickly so you can sort of see where we're going with that. All right, so we're already like halfway there, right? Hey, Donna, how you doing? Thanks for joining. And where's my water? Oh, here it is. Okay, I'm going to rinse this brush, get all that red off. And I think I may need to come back in with a little bit more white. No, that's crazy, but this stuff is drying really quickly. So just kind of creating, again, some more white blend over here. This time I'm going to make sure I'm not getting into the red with that, not too much, maybe a little. There we go. Okay. I'm using a nice big brush. This one happens to be angled, but you really don't have to go angled. I just was so enamored with the whole like mermaid tail scale look of this brush that I was like, I don't care if it's an angle brush and I don't do angled brushes. I'm going to have that brush because I need mermaid scales. All right, so now I've got a big sort of coat, sort of a stripe of goopy white, which is what we want. We want it really wet. So grabbing some Festive green. Again, this is a Deco Art Americana color, as well as some yellow green. It's very similar to the citron green, only this one is going to be a little bit more green, a little less yellow, despite the fact that it's yellow green. So I'll come in first with a yellow green and just grab a hunk and kind of pull it right here over the top of that white stripe. And I realize that's pretty loud and crazy, but this is all about layering and blending. Oopsie, I had a crumb here. How did that happen? There's that same cat who got his paw prints in my thing now hollering he wants to go outside. Okay, so we have the basic green. And again, that probably looks a little bit weird. We're not done yet. We're just trying to get some base colors in. So now I'm going to grab some of the Festive green. I'm going to blend it in with that citron, or not citron, the yellow green, because I really like my green just a smidge warmer. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm good. So grabbing that, and now we're going to come all the way out to the end here and kind of drag that green right to the edge, leaving a little. So we kind of have the yellowy green and white here, and we're making sure that some of that still shows. But now we're trying to drag a lot of those darker colors, the darker greens, down along the bottom. Hey there, Pat. Oh, you love watermelons too? Yeah. Plus it feels just like it's so hot. Like I need to like walk to the grocery store and go get some watermelons. As it is, I've been all about like the pineapples. And oh my gosh, like, so I discovered something or was feeling like a little wild and crazy. Because I don't know, recently I've been like really like loving experimenting with flavors. So I got a pineapple and I cut it up, and I have a ton of mint growing wild in my garden because, you know, it's Virginia and that's what happens here. I'm just getting the green along the edges a little. That way we don't have any white bits. And so I put some mint in my chopped up watermelon, and then just to make things extra fun, spicy, I threw some jalapenos in. It almost made kind of like a salsa. It was super weird, but it was so good. I think I was like oohing and ahhing whilst like chugging milk, trying to like not die of overheating. I managed to get like the hot peppers instead of the mild jalapenos. So just offloading some of the paint from my brush. I'm seeing that I want to touch up a little bit here, kind of in the middle. I want a little bit more of that citron kind of blending with the white. Got just a little too much white spot in here. So blending, blending, blending. And so if you're interested in doing one of these on a cutout, I have them available, or I can get them for you. I would need to do some pre-orders. And then for my inner circle folks, I can also create a traceable design for you if that is of interest. Oh, look at me. I'm just getting all the pinks and everything. Okay. I'm going to call that good. Again, offloading some of my paint. And now to take it the next step, I'm going to grab a black forest green. It's you can also use the dark Hauser green. Woo! There we go. Oh, let the kitty out or what? I can't. Pat, one of these days I'll explain a little drama around why I can't let the cat out, but not today. All right, so we're grabbing that darker green. So you can use a Hauser or a forest or an evergreen, kind of black forest, whatever you can. It doesn't really matter. Just a nice dark, deep green that makes you happy. And we're going to just kind of take that along the edge here. And again, we're trying to do all this while the paint is wet so that we can benefit from the blending factors. Oh yeah, so I was on vacation last week. I was in North Carolina, and my friend of mine's daughter was there too. She's super cool. She's 17. Girl cracks me up. Okay, Pat, I'll definitely create a tracer for you guys. And then you can just do this. Then we come up with like a fun background. Anyways, yeah, so the 17-year-old daughter like starts checking my stuff out, and she starts like going through like all the videos and sees all the freeze frames. And you know, every time like you do a live, it always freezes you kind of like this or some like ridiculous face. And I think she spent like an entire evening laughing at me. It was awesome. I was like, oh yes, that's right. 17-year-olds. I'm like, and while I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, I will get my revenge. I will talk about her. But again, maybe just talk about her making fun of me. It was awesome. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Good to see ya. You're gonna eat it before the seeds appear. Wouldn't that be fun? All right. There's like one little spot over there that's driving me bonkers. I need just a smidge more paint. So have you guys all gotten your vacations in yet this summer? Are you planning them? Even something little where you just get away from the everyday routine. I tell you, I needed it so bad. I hadn't even realized it until like I got there and was like, whoa. Okay, you can still totally see the little kitty paw prints from when he stepped on it when I was priming it. That's awesome. Let's see if I can find a way to turn those into seeds or something ridiculous. Okay, I think it's a good time to swap out brushes. So no more big brushes. We're going to move into the smaller brushes again. Let's see. Although not too small because the sucker's big. It's what, like 18 inches or something? So for those of you who are wholesalers, this is from Diverse Woodworking. So if you've already got an account with them, you can get one. But again, that's if you're wholesale. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm taking a second here to figure out what brush I want. All right, here we go. Ew, there's paint in it. That's good. This is a #1 round brush. Boop. Oh, interesting. So Pat, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but Pat was saying that Plaid came out with new folk art paint today, and it's the thicker paint with some texture to it. That could be really interesting. Okay, I know seeds are supposed to be black. I feel like I'm going to put some white seeds in first, and then we'll do some black, or vice versa. Well, I'm here with a white, so we'll do that. We'll do some white seeds. I'm just going to kind of create little teardrops here. I don't really know. Here we go. Let's try that. Blop it in and then pull. Blop it and pull. So just kind of using the round brush, not being super accurate here, but just kind of blopping and then pulling. And kind of creating an arc here around the edge. Because, you know, there's always white seeds and black seeds. And I'll probably add more black to this. And okay, now I got to try not to make too much of a pattern because it's so tempting. Oh, that's too big. That's okay. So we're going to use the cinnamon red from Deco Art Americana, the yellow green, the festive green, and then like Hauser dark green or evergreen or whatever dark color you can come up with. All right, so this is looking a little bit silly, but you kind of get the idea, right? All right, so we'll offload some of that paint, give it a quick rinse, grab some black while I'm here. I'm thinking I may want to go with a smaller brush too. So Pat, by the way, this black is actually, it's the lamp black from Folk Art. I really like it because it's a little bit thicker and a little bit gooier than your average. All right, so I'm going down to a smaller kind of cheap brush from China, which by the way is still pretty decent. So it's much smaller. So we'll come in here and we'll just kind of get a little, whoops, we'll screw it up. I'm always dropping my brush. Okay, so I'm gonna have to clean that up later. We'll just wipe the black off so I don't have to paint over black. Okay, so maybe we'll just do kind of some drops here and then just pull a smidge out so it gets a little bit of a shape. But again, when you're looking at them, they're not always teardrop shaped. Sometimes you just see like a little dot. So we can really kind of come in here and do a series of dots depending on how full of seed you want your watermelon to be. Now, the one thing I'm doing, which I'm maybe not going to recommend to you guys, is I've created a little bit too much of a pattern and sort of with all my seeds. And so it's maybe not going quite as smoothly as I'd like, or it's looking a little too regular. All right, so some of my white seeds, I'm going to come over with some black and just allow some of that white outline to show. I think that'll work pretty well. Whoopsie, now we're getting a little gray. Oh yeah, Pat, where do you get the plaid 18 cut? Or the folk art stuff? Did you see that? Oh wait, is it plaid or folk art, or folk art's by plaid? I should know this. Oh yeah, Folk Arts by Plaid. See? By the way, this is like my new favorite, this ultramarine blue in like ultra matte. It's like blue velvet. All right, here we go. I'm going to cover some of my black seeds or my white seeds with some black. That feels a little bit better, but I like some of the white kind of poking out. And again, you can be as accurate and fantastic as you like, or just willy-nilly, just kind of pop it in there and have fun and don't worry about it. That's sort of where I am right now. All right, there we go. Okay. Ton of black paint. Go ahead and offload that. Okay. Now I'll come back in and grab a little bit more of the white. Facebook by Donna Dewberry, One Shrub. Oh, I'm going to go have to check that out, Pat. That sounds awesome. So going back into some of the white, and again, I had a couple of mess ups here. In fact, I wonder if I can just tweak that with my finger to fix it. Maybe I can. Close enough, right? Not perfect, but close enough. All right. We'll fix that more. At least it's a little less crazy. Okay, I get distracted. So now let's go ahead and let's maybe add a couple of cute lines kind of around the bite area. So you can kind of see that there's been a bite. Maybe a couple of lines in this zone here. Again, keeping it kind of irregular, keep it loose, but we want to kind of remind that this thing is arc shaped. So a couple along the top, and then a few like white lines like right there in the midst of your green. This zone here is a mess. I'm going to come back to that after I've had a chance to let it dry and tweak it. And then I'm going to actually take the tail of the brush. So, oh wait, so what Pat says? She says, it just came in on the truck today before the show. Interesting. Oh, so you saw this as on a Facebook show then. Is that right, Pat? Right, so now we'll just add some white dots here and there to kind of loosen it up and lighten it up. Not too many, but you can even do a couple of dots right there in the, what's this stuff called? The rind. Anybody pickle their watermelon rinds? I've never canned really much of anything except for kimchi. And that's not really canned, but it is pickling. Is that weird? I love kimchi. I love kimchi obsession. I just found my recipe, so I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna have to make that this summer. And by the way, it's totally an acquired taste. Most people don't really like kimchi the first time out. Okay, so that's kind of really simply it. Now, if you wanted to go like way bigger with those seeds, you could totally like make them significantly larger. Wow, I'm like, oh my gosh, Valley Girl, look at that. But anyways, you could totally make your seeds bigger if you wanted to. You could add additional highlights. My goal here today was to really just come on and show you how fun it could be, and how, you know, if you're just like, I don't really got a ton of ideas in my head right now, but I just want to paint something. I just want to get something on canvas. Perfect way to get started. Oh, Donna, your grandmother used to can the rinds. That's cool. Really good. But yeah, Pat, I did say kimchi. I love kimchi. It's like, I'm obsessed with it. I actually made it one time and it was so delicious, like 10 times better than the stuff you can buy at the store. So I just actually found my recipe for it like the other day. So I'm like, oh, I could make some kimchi when I have like 5 minutes of spare time. Totally ridiculous. And I don't know, it's like one of those things where like I never liked it. And then one day I was like trying to be on this health kick and I was like, oh yeah, get probiotics. And kimchi was on the list and I bought a jar and had a few. And then like after like 6 bites, I was like, oh my gosh, it's the best stuff. Let's see. Oh, Oh, okay. So Pat used to say that you used to work in construction, or you know somebody who was Korean and they had the best kimchi. That's awesome. Yeah, kimchi. Like once you love it, you can't stop loving it. I feel like this wants more white, but I don't want to mess it up. You ever have that feeling where you don't want to mess something up? So my take is if you don't want to mess something up, you can pause and then kind of sleep on it and come back to it, or even just a 15-minute break. Okay, there we go. So I'm thickening some of these white lines to make them a little bit more prevalent, and I think that helps bold this just the way it is. So I'm gonna call this guy done. I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna fix this later because it's a little bit of a mess and it's gonna need some drying. And so for those of you who are inner circle, I'll go ahead and create a tracer for this and get it posted. And Pat, I owe you the flip flops, so I should be having those done shortly as well. Now that I kind of got all my tools back, I was hoping to get a whole bunch of work done while I was on vacation. And then we had this much Wi-Fi, none. It was pretty crazy. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. And yeah, if you are interested in joining the inner circle, we're not open yet. We will be in, I think, October. It's a paid membership, but you get access to all the designs, all the tutorials, cool stuff like this VW bus, our Eiffel Tower painting, the golden feather, which was the latest one released. This one was super fun. I know, Pat, you're totally right. I didn't need Wi-Fi on vacation. In fact, I was really grateful. It was like clearly I just needed to get away from everything and like completely be like unplugged. But I kind of missed you guys, and I was like, I want to connect with them. Oh, Carla, I'm so glad you love the inner circle. I can't wait to see more of what you guys have painted. So my mom saw a few of the designs we did, and she's like, oh, send those to me. And I'm super excited. Again, this is for those of you who are kind of in the know, but like this is, you remember that ball gown dress that we did? That it was inspired by my best friend, and it's her birthday. So of course I was like, wow, when I do the big one, I know there's Cat. This is Nugget. He's Mr. You know what? I'm going to knock your water over. So I'm giving the big ball gown dress to my bestie, and she's going to get it tomorrow. And I'm so excited because she's really been like always inspiring me. Like, hey, you've got to do more art. I want to see that stuff that comes from your heart. So anyways, you saw the guest appearance from the cat and all his insanity. And I will see you guys again soon. I hope you have a great one. And keep on painting. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Pat says you haven't been painting the last couple days. Oh, but you have your daughters over and you've been doing quilting? See, now that's super cool. I once bought a whole ton of like fabric to do quilting, and you know what ended up happening? I made masks out of it during COVID. So, you do your thing. Anyways, all right. Without further ado, love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, wait, how does this